You probably think going broke is about bad luck, a layoff, a recession, a bad break. It's usually not. It's 11 specific, repeatable mistakes that quietly drain people for years before they ever notice. I see them over and over. Stick with me to the end, because a couple of these are going to sting a little, and one of them is probably happening in your life right now without you even realizing it. First, not earning enough money. I'll say the controversial thing nobody wants to hear in a personal finance video. Sometimes the problem isn't your spending, it's your income. Yes, luck plays a role. The family you're born into, the economy you grow up in, none of that's fully in your control. But here's what is: your skills, your job, your willingness to ask for more. Early in life, your ability to earn is the single biggest financial asset you own, bigger than any stock pick, bigger than any savings account. And yet most people will spend an entire weekend color-coding a budget spreadsheet before they'll spend 10 minutes asking their boss for a raise. If you're underpaid, no amount of frugality closes that gap. So before you cut another 5% from your spending, ask yourself the much bigger question: could you be earning 20% more? Second, not saving enough. Here's the trap almost everyone falls into without noticing. You get a raise. Within a month, your spending quietly rises to match it. Slightly nicer apartment, slightly newer car, and the extra money you swore you'd save just vanishes. It's called lifestyle creep, and it's sneaky precisely because it never feels like a decision. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Pay yourself first. The second your paycheck lands, a chunk moves straight into savings before you ever see it. Automate it completely, so willpower never even enters the equation. People who automate their saving, save. People who plan to save whatever's left over almost always discover there's nothing left. Third, not setting financial goals. Saving with no goal is like getting in your car with no destination. You'll drive around for a bit, then stop the moment it gets even slightly inconvenient. I should probably save more is not a goal. It's a vague feeling, and vague feelings lose to a tempting sale every single time. Compare that to someone with an actual number and date: a house in 5 years, retirement at 55. That specificity does two things at once. It tells you exactly how much to save each month, and it gives you a real reason to say no when something tries to derail you. Vague goals produce vague effort. Specific goals produce specific results. Fourth, overspending on the wrong things. This isn't another lecture about your coffee habit. It's something sneakier: pouring money into things that don't actually make you happy while starving the things that do. The research on this is almost comically consistent. People overspend on status, a bigger car, a flashier phone, and barely feel a happiness bump from it. Meanwhile, they underspend on the stuff that reliably does move the needle. Time with people they love, real experiences, simply having less daily financial stress. So here's a challenge. Pull up your last 3 months of spending and ask, category by category, did this genuinely make my life better, or did it just look good to somebody else? Move the money accordingly, and you'll often spend less while feeling noticeably richer. Fifth, not taking enough investment risk. Keeping your long-term money in cash feels responsible. It isn't. Inflation is working in the background every single year, quietly shrinking what that cash can actually buy, even while the number on your bank statement stays exactly the same. If you've got decades before you need this money, parking it all in cash is one of the riskiest decisions you can make, because you're guaranteeing yourself a slow-motion loss. Growth assets like stocks come with real short-term ups and downs, sure, but historically, that volatility has been the entry fee for actually outpacing inflation over time. Playing it safe with cash isn't safety. It's just a quieter way to fall behind. Sixth, taking the wrong kind of risk. Now flip that last point completely, because going all in on a meme stock with your emergency fund isn't bold, it's reckless, and there's a real difference. Smart risk looks boring. Diversified, long-term, money you won't touch for years. Dumb risk looks exciting, a concentrated bet made on hype, on a tip from social media, using money you genuinely cannot afford to lose. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The investors who win over decades aren't the ones who hit one lucky trade. They're the ones who simply never blew themselves up. So before any investment, ask yourself one question. If this goes to zero tomorrow, Does my life fall apart? If yes, you already know the answer. Seventh, missing tax planning opportunities. Every year you skip your tax-advantaged accounts. Retirement accounts, tax-free savings vehicles, employer matching is a year of free money you just left sitting on the table. This isn't some shady loophole for accountants and the ultra-wealthy. These tools exist specifically so regular people can keep more of what they earn. Most people skip them simply because they assume it's complicated. It usually takes less time to set up than picking what to watch tonight. And if your employer offers matching contributions and you're not claiming the full match, that's not frugality. That's turning down a guaranteed raise. Eighth, ignoring estate planning. This one sounds like a rich person problem. It's not. Die without a will, and the state decides who gets what you spent your whole life building, not you, and possibly not the people you'd actually choose. Worse, your family gets handed a legal mess to untangle while they're grieving you. A basic will, updated beneficiaries on your accounts, maybe a simple power of attorney, that's a handful of hours, total. People avoid it because it feels morbid. But this isn't pessimism. It's just removing one more thing that could go badly wrong for almost no effort at all. Ninth, marrying a financially incompatible spouse. Here's a stat that surprises people every time. Money fights are one of the single biggest predictors of relationship breakdown, and most of that conflict is completely avoidable. Marry someone with wildly different attitudes towards spending, saving, or debt without ever once having the conversation, and you've quietly set a timer. It usually goes off at the worst possible moments. Buying a home, having kids, planning retirement. You don't need identical financial personalities. You need one honest conversation about money and goals before you combine your lives, not a series of surprises after. 10th, underinsuring catastrophic risks. It's wild how many people insure a cracked phone screen, but skip disability or life insurance entirely. One bad accident, one serious diagnosis, one stretch where you simply can't work. Any of those can erase decades of careful saving in a matter of months. Insurance was never meant for the small annoyances. It's meant for the disaster you genuinely couldn't recover from alone. The rule is simple. Insure against things that are rare but devastating, and self-insure the things that are common but manageable. Most people have it exactly backwards. 11th, not paying off high-interest debt. If you're investing while carrying credit card debt at 20% interest or more, you've already lost the math before you started. No investment reliably beats that rate, not even close. Every dollar that goes toward that debt is a guaranteed return equal to the interest you're escaping, and almost nothing else on earth can promise you that. This is the one mistake on this list with a genuinely simple fix. Before chasing returns anywhere else, kill the high-interest debt first. It won't make for an exciting story, but it's the highest, safest return you'll ever get your hands on. So here's all 11, back to back. Earn what you're actually worth. Save automatically before lifestyle creep gets a vote. Set a real specific goal. Spend on what actually makes your life better. Take real risk with money you won't need for decades, never with money you can't afford to lose. Use the tax-advantaged account sitting right in front of you. Put a basic estate plan in place. Talk honestly with your partner about money. Insure against the disaster you couldn't recover from, and kill high-interest debt before anything else. None of these 11 mistakes are complicated. That's exactly why they're so easy to keep making quietly for years, until one day they're the entire reason you're behind. So, which one hit a little too close to home? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this helped, follow along, because I break down exactly this kind of stuff every week.